Hello, this is Mitch King with Trade Stocks America with the Sunday afternoon, July 5th, 2009 Daily Stock Report. Dow Jones was down 2.6% after comments from Bill Gross, the founder of PIMCO, which is the largest bond manager in the world, made a comment that it'll likely take years for the market to recover. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. S&P 500 was down almost 3%. And the Nasdaq Composite was down 2.7%. This type of move is likely to usually signifies further declines in the coming weeks when you see a sharp drop, although short term we might have a rebound for a couple of days that might be a good opportunity to reduce your long positions, especially if you're quite heavily long. As you can see, we've been peeling off a lot of the long positions this last couple sessions and starting to open a couple short positions as well. Here's a look at the oil index, stock symbol XOIL on Warden Brothers Telechart system, down 4.1% on Thursday, which you can see on the upper right hand corner here, and you can see the stock symbol on the left side or in the upper left hand corner. Let's take a little wider view of the oil index. It's very conceivable that this index could be pulling back on a real shallow dip in here. It's likely to have a shallow pullback and just maybe meander around with a slight downward trend. You can see some of the oil stocks were stopped out, like FTO was on a nice rebound on Wednesday, and then Thursday was down 6% alone, so that was stopped out. Typically the trailing stop losses are 5 to 7% on these swing trades and intermediates, with the intraday scalps a little bit smaller, maybe 2 to 3%. Let's take a look at a couple other stocks. Here's that short ZN, which we covered on Wednesday. It continued to move down substantially on Thursday, and which is now giving us a potential long trade where it's very conceivable to see this thing maybe come down a little more and then move up in here around this figure around $9.50 to $10 would be very possible. A lot of times when you see these stocks that have this speculation, in this case went from 7.25 to mid-14s in one day and came all the way down to $8, $8.05, which was the comment that I made on Wednesday night, that this is possible that it gets close to 8. It would be worth buying a small long position. And I think that this has a reasonable chance, especially if this drops a little more, a very good chance of having some sort of rebound that's a substantial percentage move. Let's take a look at another stock. We talked about this one on Wednesday night, that this is a potential short sale over $7. The target price to look for this one is in the mid-5s, which would be a substantial profit. You just have to play these by ear. You kind of get an idea of where they might go and watch the stock to see how it acts, whatever it's doing up or down, to either confirm or not confirm your hunch or your forecast. Here's a stock that came down close to that $6 that we were looking for. And here's the low here on the upper left-hand corner that I'm circling. And looking for this to flatten out somewhere in here and maybe head up to over $7, which would be a real nice percentage move to make $1, $1.25 off our $6 purchase. So continue to watch that. Always build small, long positions. A high number of positions that are smaller are a higher probability that you will make money as well as control the risk. And here's a stock to start watching for a potential long. As far as an intermediate term, it could last for weeks. Let's take a little wider view of this. And what we're looking for on this one here is the idea that it bounces off that kind of a general trend line that we've had. Obviously broke through that right in here this last week. But the ag chemical stocks have dropped substantially, which is typical this time of year, as the farmers have already gotten their crop forecasts in and they've used most of the products that they're going to use from companies like Monsanto, Mosaic, Agrium, potash, fertilizers, and chemicals. So what we're looking for on this stock is some sort of a further acceleration would be ideal if we have a couple more down days, and that would be excellent if that was the case, where we can see this drop down here like this and have a little V pattern like this, that would be this is the kind of chart pattern we're really looking for. Ideally, what we'd like to see is an acceleration of trading volume, which are on this type of fashion. If that's possible, that might be asking a little bit much. This would be the type of volume in here over in the far left. That's what we'd like to see, these volume spikes. That gives us a little better chance of this V pattern recovery, in which we would buy to give us a little bit higher odds. So you guys take care, put the odds in your favor. We'll talk to you tomorrow night.